Shalom, RasTafari, greetings, Shabbat Shalom, Senbet Salam. This is the 21st Senbet, the 21st Shabbat. In the Hebrew, it's known as Tissa, or according to the pointing, Tissa. The Amarinya, in the pure language, the Metzaf Kedus, it's known as Be-Kutar Hacho Gizeh. Be-Kutar Hacho Gizeh. In the time that you count, when you count them. In the time that you count them, when you count them. Ki Tissa. Now on the still right here, I want to thank, first of all, Wyndham Aaron for the presentation for this art right here. And now there's, let me actually go over here so I can show you in this view right here. This is from RasTafari Foundation. And this is the link for this week's Torah portion, the 21st Torah portion, which we call when you take the sum. Actually, if you read that within the King James Version of the Bible, when you take the sum of the children of Israel. So right here is the presentation that Wyndham Aaron has done for since the very first one, I think, as well as Brother Wyndham Zawadi as well. And we give thanks for this right here, right, for the various different Torah portion, Haftarah, and the Berit Chadash, or the New Covenant. So for the three portions of reading for the Shabua, and in particular leading up to that week's the Shabbatical, the Sabbath strong, or the Sabbath reading for the 7th day. Now, I did a vid on, what was it called? I think the Black Hebrew Israelite Art and Facts, because a picture is like 1,000 words, and I give thanks. I know how difficult it is to find certain pics out there, because sometimes for the last couple of hours, that's what we've been doing, basically actually preparing, going over the studies, going over the readings, and seeing what visual enhancements we could bring to bear to the teaching, or to whatever the presentation that we're seeking to present. And sometimes there's a visual that you might have seen, or a picture, and then you're trying to find, okay, what's the name? And so you don't, a lot of the time really is spent sometimes just preparing. Much of the time is spent preparing, even for some of these videos. Sometimes the shortest videos, right, might take, hours of preparation. But there's a joy. I find that there's a joy in it, even though it's a spiritual wrestling, want to get that word out, but want to find the right graphics, the right art, or accurate art. We don't find that the art here for the New Testament. I'm going to try to stop saying so much as well, listening some of the vids, and Slicha, Yikrita, and they give thanks for the brothers and sisters also, iron sharpen iron. Now, the art over here on top of 1 Kings 18:1 to 1 Kings 18:39 is not actually completely accurate, because that particular reading in chapter 18 is concerning Elijah, right, or the prophet Eliyahu confronting Ahab, confronting that wicked that wicked king, confronting King Ahab, and it provides an interesting contrast to the Torah portion of the reading, which is concerning the chatiyat, or the sin of the golden calf, what's known as the golden calf. So that's what this particular Torah portion, that's one of the main subject matters, right, and the main items within this particular Torah portion, reading and feeding. So I really look forward to the On the Air and In the Spirit gathering with the Wendemoch and the Ichatoch and the Natoch, the brothers and sisters and mothers. And hopefully, if the eye hears this and can, link I and I at Discipleship Radio and the Blog Talk Radio. In fact, I want to share the phone number for that so ones and ones can call in. I just take down this number and be sure to call in and to attend, to listen in, and hopefully if one can come on the air, God bless. 646, the number to call in for the RasTafari Discipleship Radio is 646-595-3838. Once again, that's 646-595-3898. And the broadcast time is I think 10, no, actually, is it 10 p.m.? 10 p.m., I know the time had changed before. If I'm correct, it is 10 p.m. on the East Coast. 10 p.m. on the East Coast. But check it out right here at Rastafari Groundation. You can get all the latest updates, right? Because sometimes some updates go on and everything, so you can stay on top of the latest updates. I don't know if there's a Twitter, if the them have a Twitter, a tweet or something like that. That'd probably be good too, to kind of tweet out certain information, but S by S, little by little. So once again, this is my first word on the Rastafari Sabbath study number 21, the RSS, which encompasses Old Testament, Torah, the Torah first and foremost, the 5 books of Musa, of Moses, and the Haftarah, the Navim, or the Nabiyat, the prophets reading, as well as the New Covenant, or what is known as the New Testament readings. And for this strong, for Saturday, March 7th, 2015, these are the readings: 2 Corinthians chapter 3, Exodus chapter 30 verses 11 to Exodus chapter 34 verse 35, and 1 Kings chapter 18 and 1 to verse 39, same chapter. Now, I first was I saw this picture was used from, I think, a couple of a strong or two ago. So when I was preparing, I just saw this and I said, oh, okay, that was previous. I think it was a reading that encompassed David and Solomon. Now, this picture here is not accurate for David or for Solomon. I just wanted to update on that as well. So let's pull out right here. Okay, here we go. This is one of the pictures that we had easy access to right here of Elijah. So this will probably be a more appropriate update to the RSS or the RTSS number 21 right here, instead of this image right here, which is a Martin. This is like a Martin counterfeit. It's a Martin counterfeit of David and a Martin counterfeit of Solomon. Now, how can we prove that? Well, we was able to do this right here, and let's see if we can bring this. Okay, show you this right here. Okay, this is from one of the Russian Orthodox. This is actually a more appropriate King Solomon. As you can see, King Solomon, Russian icon. Alright, so for the readings encompassing King Solomon, this is, I think, a reverse. This one we found, this is a reverse view right here. But this is one of the more accurate images of King Solomon, unless one uses some of the blameless Ethiopian art, but some of their art, the modern Ethiopian Orthodox art, has been whitewashed and corrupted. So you have to really be careful about utilizing that, not to contribute, to the lie. Let's go down here and show you David as well. David, we have a couple of images of David here. Let's scroll down here, and now here's what's very interesting. Let's show you the David. Here we go, right here. Let's open this one up right here. Preview this one. This is a David. This is an ancient King David icon that has been preserved amongst what's known as the Russian icon. So you see, here we have David. Right, here we have King David. Now this is one of their modern fake. This is a modern fakery right here. Alright, this is a modern fakery right here. And it actually gets worse than that, but I'm just showing you this modern fakery is actually on par with this right here, right? With this right here. And so let's just compare before we go on the outro and begin with teaching for this Torah portion, reading and feeding. Let's just bring this up so you can see this side by side, compare. This is David, right? This is an accurate David right here. Better yet, let's bring it over like this. Okay, here we go, right here. Zoom out. Okay. David. Alright. You can even compare the differences, and it's much more. Oh, that's what we wanted to show you right here. From a David monastery. There's a David monastery down here. And let's begin from the preview right here. Okay. This is called the David Gareha Monastery in Georgia. If you notice, they're like the cities in Petra, in Petra. They're like the rock-hewn cities, right, where many of the early Nazarenes and faithful Christians, right, we contend for the faith that was once delivered to the Kedushan. It's like if you're playing a so-called, I don't even call it a ball game, but but we hold the ball. We got to carry, preserve. As the scripture says, to contend diligently for the faith. And that means also the faithfulness within the word art and the word pictures. And we're not only speaking of so-called race, but we're speaking of grace too, because as we have opportunity, we want to show and highlight certain other things to read, when you're actually able to read the iconography, and you can really see a certain faithfulness over time, right, to both the race as well as the grace and what is communicated, because the paintings and the icons were basically words in art. It were words in art communicating, if faithful, bringing out the word. All right. So this monastery right here, David I think it's Gareha, if I'm correct in the pronunciation, Georgia. And here is inside, these are some frescoes, right? Some frescoes inside this particular monastery. Let's zoom in. Now you can see that many of them are kind of worn down, and either there was attempts to scrub them out or to destroy them and deface them because of the flesh of the Messiah, that the Messiah came in the flesh, and that flesh he took on, right, of the Ethiopian Hebrews, the black Hebrews, right? And we can see this even right here. This is a fresco. Let's see if we can back this up right here. Well, let's bring it down so you can see the face, right? And you can even see the Ethiopian, the authentic ancient Ethiopian styling, and the Byzantium styling right there as well. All right, this is one of the frescoes right here. And then we saw this one that was interesting, right? Which kind of reminded me of the David for a moment. But I wanted to kind of show some of these, some of these right here. And they have suffered greatly at the hands of those realizing the power in the true iconography, who sought to deface or to destroy, right, the images of the saints and the holy ones. So brothers and sisters, if we can, let's be diligent. And I know how difficult it is to find really good and authentic images, especially within like the videos. And this is one from, this is interesting here. This is one from, some of the so-called Islamic Hebrews previously. And you can see there's a similarity, there's somewhat of a similarity here as well, right? And some of this imagery we've used before until we really got turned on to the Russian Orthodox icons, the anciency as well as the authenticity. But these sort of imageries over here, right, are represent modern fakes, right? Modern fake jakes. These are fakes. And we have to watch out for these fakes because they contribute to the apostasy. They contribute to the lie. Let's bring up Solomon, King Solomon, if we will, so we can show Father and Son more accurately. And here we have, so let's move this over so you can see it all in one view, right? All in one view right here. All right. So this Torah portion doesn't even concern King David and King Solomon. I think that part was an oversight, and I know how it is, because I Wyndham has taken on a lot of co-laboring works, the editing of the videos, the re-editing of the discipleship radio. So I give thanks, Miskana, Wyndham, Aaron. But when I saw this right here, I said, wait, I gotta speak out on these fakes. These are fakes pictures right here, right? And they kind of stand out like a sore thumb. Besides the reading in 1 Kings, right? The reading in 1 Kings chapter 18, actually concern, let's do this right here, actually concern Elijah, right, and the prophets of Baal. So a more appropriate setup would be something like this, using, say, this particular Elijah right there, right? I believe that's another either Eastern Orthodox or a Russian icon as well. So this is just a couple of notes, right, at the outset. And once again, Shabbat Shalom, Senbet Salam. Stay tuned. We're going to get into a little bit more of this particular Torah portion, reading and feeding. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Senbet Salam. This is Wyndham Yadon. This is Ras Iadonis Tafari of the line of the Tribe of Judah Society. Shalom.